This is the closest thing we've got to GTA 6, and it's not even made by Rockstar. Raytraced and his team just dropped the long-awaited Natural Vision Enhanced for GTA 5. And yeah, it's actually insane. Just like the older Legacy version, this mod transforms the entire look of the game, but the difference now is that the enhanced edition of GTA 5 finally gives it room to breathe. With all the new visual tech, it doesn't just look good, it looks complete. Right after loading in, you can tell the vibe is completely different. The lighting, the atmosphere, it's all been overhauled. And yeah, I know the description says it blurs the line between imagination and reality, but honestly, it leans more into a stylized look, kind of like how Rockstar does it. Their games never try to look fully photorealistic, but they've got that signature visual style, and same thing happens here. This mod definitely goes for a very specific aesthetic, and it's not like it's bad because in certain weather and time combos, it actually looks incredible, especially sunny or overcast conditions. But as always, there are moments where I personally prefer how other mods like Chromatics or Quant handle certain times of day or lighting setups. And maybe it's just me, but I swear the traffic density feels a bit higher too. Wouldn't surprise me if the game config was tweaked a bit because I'm seeing more cars around than usual, or maybe I'm just tweaking because of the better lighting. Now, what might seem like the most revolutionary addition in NVE is the ray-traced car mirrors. And yeah, they do work, but at the moment, it's limited to specific vehicles. Many of them still don't have them working properly, and in some cases, the reflections look great, but in others, it feels kind of rushed. Like in this one shot, even the frame of the mirror is reflecting light, which just looks off. I looked into how it all works, and turns out ray-traced mirrors in first person need to be forced through a script, which is probably what NVE.asi is doing here. But that's only half the battle. To get sharp, clean reflections, you also have to go into each individual vehicle model and manually tweak the mirror geometry. Yeah, every single one. So it makes sense that not all traffic cars have it set up yet. It's a time-consuming process. Still, it would have been nice if at least most of the common traffic cars had it working, but it's better than nothing, right? There's one more downside though, and it's not really on Raytraced, but more on how ray tracing works in GTA 5 Enhanced overall. The mirrors don't reflect car lights, so at dusk or night you won't see the headlights of the vehicles behind you in the reflection, which kinda breaks the immersion. But to be fair, that same issue happens with the vanilla game too. Like if you pull up in front of a building window, the reflections don't show your headlights there either. And since we're on the reflection topic, there's another thing that started bugging me. From inside the car in first-person view, you can sometimes see the road reflecting up onto the windshield, which just looks weird. I'm not sure if that's a bug from NVE or something from vanilla, but the second I noticed it, I couldn't unsee it. It's just super distracting. Performance-wise, the mod runs really smoothly, and it's definitely a major step up from the older Legacy version of NVE, which, let's be real, could tank your FPS even on high-end rigs, but this time around, it feels a lot more optimized. A big reason for that is thanks to the built-in ray tracing support in the game. That allowed the NVE team to ditch some of the heavy force techniques they had to use in the past to simulate reflections on vehicles and surfaces, and it really pays off. GTA Network actually did a great benchmark comparing enhanced with and without NVE, and as you can see, the frame rate drop is usually somewhere between 10 to 25 FPS depending on the scene. And honestly, that's a solid result, especially considering how much more visually impressive the game looks. One thing I really like is the dedicated NVE tab in the Reshade menu. It basically gives you a mini trainer built right into the graphics overlay. You can lock in your weather type so it won't randomly shift, which is super helpful for testing or just cruising in your favorite weather. And just to give you an idea, here's how all the different weather presets look one by one. You can also spawn vehicles through this menu, though personally, I still stick with Simple Trainer for that, which is just a habit at this point. There's also a graphics section where you can toggle options like ray tracing global illumination and ambient occlusion. You've got the vanilla option or an increased one, which is kinda like the old second bounce lighting you could enable back when Enhanced first launched, before Rockstar quietly removed it. I usually keep both set to increased, but yeah, it can get a bit overcooked during sunsets. But still, I'd rather have that than flat lighting, and overall it's it's a nice tweak that gives you a bit more control over how the game looks. And since we're already on the topic of sunsets and sunrises, I gotta say, that's where NVE really shines. They absolutely nailed that GTA 6 vibe. The atmosphere during golden hour looks phenomenal. Doesn't matter if you're driving through the city or flying over it in a chopper, it just hits different. It might not be a one-to-one recreation of GTA 6's sunsets, but it gets close enough that I'd call it GTA 5.5. It gives the whole map this next-gen feeling, even though it's the same old Los Santos underneath. Just goes to show how far visuals can go when done right. And honestly, this is what Rockstar should have done with the expanded and enhanced version of the game from day one. But I guess they were scared the difference between GTA 5 and 6 would feel way less noticeable. And while NVE already does an amazing job at overhauling vanilla GTA 5, let's be honest, the vegetation density still feels a bit off in some areas. That's where Lively World Expansion comes in. It's the perfect way to push things even closer to that GTA 6 vibe. They've just released a version fully compatible with NVE, so you can run both at once, and the result is wild. The forests now actually feel like forests, packed with trees, properly dense, and just straight up immersive. Tell me this doesn't look incredible. And just to prove the point, look at that same spot with only NVE. It's crazy how empty it feels in comparison. The city benefits big time too. It's full of new trees, bushes, potted plants, benches, and all sorts of props that just make the world feel lived in again. This mod easily pushes GTA 5 forward by at least 5 years in terms of how it feels visually, and ever since I started using it back on the Legacy version, I couldn't go back. And it works great as a standalone or with any major graphics mod, not just NVE. It revamps nearly the whole map, so no matter where you are, you'll see the difference. I mentioned earlier that the traffic in-game feels a bit more dense, but there was still one thing missing: variety. And fortunately, that's no longer a problem thanks to the recently released Traffic 5 Fear Edition. There are a bunch of similar mods out there, but this one stands out because it's fully compatible with NVE. So the installation is super simple because all you need is just drag and drop into the game directory. This mod brings in tons of unused vehicles from GTA Online and injects them naturally into traffic. And I mean really naturally. Now, at practically every second intersection, you'll notice a new ride. And honestly, I'm loving it. Muscle cars, sports cars, rare bikes, and high-end sedans. All of them are cruising around San Andreas like they've always been part of the base game, so the variety in traffic feels almost as rich as what we saw in the GTA 6 trailer too. But upgrading GTA 5 isn't just about visuals. It's also about bringing back that functionality and freedom we're used to. And that's where Open All Interiors comes in, because it turns out this legendary mod is also fully compatible with the enhanced version. And as the name suggests, we can now just walk right into places that were previously off limits. Franklin's first house, Benny's garage, Simeon's dealership, Maze Bank apartments, various warehouses, and even more apartments. The list honestly goes on forever. There are so many blips on the map. If I tried showing you every single interior, this video would probably last a few hours. So yeah, if you're someone who enjoys just wandering the map and checking out every corner of the world, this mod is an absolute must-have. And if all those interiors still aren't enough for you, here's another great addition: Burger shot straight out of GTA 4. This mod replaces the old non-enterable building in Vespucci with a brand new, fully explorable one, complete with a full interior and people actually sitting inside. Sure, you can't grab a burger like in GTA 4, at least not yet, but still, it's such a cool interior to have back. And when you pair it with a graphics mod like NVE, the building looks absolutely gorgeous. Easily one of the cleanest restaurant interiors I've seen in GTA 5. And circling back to gameplay improvements, there's this killer mod called Next Gen Euphoria, and just like the name suggests, it seriously upgrades the ragdoll physics in the game. According to the author, it re-enables a bunch of Euphoria engine features that were disabled by Rockstar, and the most noticeable change is bullet reactions. So now when you shoot NPCs, they don't just drop instantly, but they actually react. They'll grab their wounds, limp if you hit the leg, clutch their arm after an arm shot, or collapse slowly depending on the impact. It's super impressive. And it doesn't stop there, because even the collisions feel way more advanced. You'll see way more natural body reactions when you hit someone with a car, and yeah, sometimes they'll even grab the vehicle as they get knocked down, which looks absolutely hilarious. And honestly, with all these mods combined, the game already feels so fresh it makes me want to replay the entire thing from start to finish. But if you're not ready to commit to a full playthrough and still want something new to do in Los Santos, and the vanilla taxi missions just don't cut it, then I've got the perfect fix: Uber-style simple taxi missions. All you gotta do is hop into any vehicle, press O, and just like that, you're picking up clients. Like here, I got a job to pick up 2 customers waiting at Las Cuadras Bar. And let me tell you, you can give them the ride of a lifetime because they literally don't care about anything. Crashes, police chases, explosions, they'll still sit there calm as ever like nothing's happening. And when I say you can use any vehicle, I don't just mean cars and bikes. You can use anything with passenger seats, even a rhino tank. I doubt anyone's ever seen an Uber like that before. Overall, it's a super fun mod to mess around with, especially if you want to explore streets you wouldn't normally drive through. The only thing I'd nitpick is how passengers exit the vehicle. Getting in looks fine, but getting out just instantly teleports them to the pavement, which kinda kills the immersion a bit. But still, this mod adds a ton of fun, especially for casual cruising. And if you're looking to take things to the next level with a real driving challenge, there's one more mod you should try. Technically, it's not officially supported on the enhanced version of the game, but with a little bit of file swapping magic, you can still get it working. That's because it mainly replaces vehicle-related text files, which can easily be copied between legacy and enhanced versions. I'm talking about Drive 5, a mod I've shown off in previous videos, and it's still an absolute blast. It completely overhauls the vehicle handling, making cars feel way less arcade-like. You can actually feel the weight of each vehicle. The braking distance is way longer, and suddenly every lamppost becomes a serious threat if you're not fully focused. It really transforms how you drive in GTA 5, because you can't just slam the brakes at the last second or cut corners like in vanilla, at least not with older cars. With Drive 5, every turn, every stop, every overtake feels more grounded and rewarding.
Sorry about that.
At this point, GTA 5 Enhanced, with the right set of mods, is honestly starting to feel like a different game. Between the stunning graphics overhauls like NVE or chromatics, better world density, more realistic physics, and the sheer amount of extra stuff you can do, it's crazy how far we can push this old game with the right tools. And the wild part? We're not even done. These mods are constantly evolving, and by the time GTA 6 drops, modded 5 might be closer to it than we ever thought. But what about you? Are you playing on the enhanced version, or are you still sticking to legacy because of compatibility or performance? Let me know in the comments down below.